Guys, welcome to What's Barking Local. It's Jerry Miller. It's good to be with you on a special time, a Tuesday afternoon on the I Love CVille Network. Of course, What's Barking Local, a showcase of our phenomenal pet community in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and across Central Virginia. This program, undoubtedly thanks to the queen of animals in Central Virginia, Pattie Boden, Patricia Boden, the owner of Animal Connection, Central Virginia's longest-running, most tenured, all-natural, most successful pet store in Central Virginia. Harris Tolber is our director. Judah Wickhauer and Lauren Linsky, producers of this program. And I think on that note, Harris Tolber, why don't we go to the studio cam and welcome everyone to the set.
The studio cam.
Pattie Boden right here. Kat Kiernan from Primal Pet Foods. Primal Pet Foods over here. And Pattie Boden, what I would like to do is take an opportunity to introduce Kat to Central Virginia.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just want to interject why we're doing this on Tuesday. Because we are going to the world's largest trade show for pets, where we find things like Primal Pet Foods and toys and treats and you name it. Anything that our pet food store would want is going to be at this show, and there are people from all over the world there. So that will be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's why we're taping on Tuesday. And boy, we're going to have some fun products at our store. You're going to want to know all about those. That's on another show. But Kat's here. Kat is one of our coolest sales reps. She really knows a ton about pet nutrition for dogs and cats. She's widely known on the East Coast for helping all kinds of dogs and showing up at events. And she's just everything. And she's just a great rep, and she knows a ton of information. So she's here. She's here.
What an introduction. Primal Pet Foods. You can find them online at primalpetfoods.com.
Correct.
So the gist, and I'm going to throw it to you.
Sure.
Raw food for your dog or your cat is a healthy foundation for a long, happy, and long-lasting life for our furry friends.
Correct.
Okay, I know firsthand with two dogs now. Recently put one down. 2 dogs now of how they're not just pets but family members.
Absolutely.
So anything we could possibly do to make their lives last longer is something I'm committed to. Open-ended question.
Sure.
Raw food diet. Importance, why?
So even though they are our companion animals, they still are biologically carnivorous. So we want to feed them appropriately. We want to feed them a biologically appropriate diet, which consists of raw meat and organs. So at Primal, we follow what is called the BARF model diet. BARF stands for biologically appropriate raw feeding. So for our dog diets, they consist of about 85% meat, organ, and bone, 15% produce and supplements. And our cat diets are around 93% meat, organ, and bone, 7% produce and supplements to make them complete and balanced without the use of synthetic vitamins and minerals.
I love it. And Animal Connection is an epicenter for this particular food.
Yep, absolutely. They carry everything that Primal sells.
Okay. Put in perspective how you have seen firsthand how the raw food diet is beneficial for our pets.
Well, our store was founded based on this premise because I did have a dog that had cancer problems, and we took him off of traditionally manufactured kibble and just went right back to basics because cancers feed on sugar. And at that time, there was a whole lot of sugar. Well, still now, there was a whole lot of sugar and a lot of dry food. So we decided, what have we got to lose? Let's try it. I'm telling you what, this dog just flourished. His coat was perfect. He never needed a teeth cleaning, ever. And he died at age 16 and a half. He never needed his teeth cleaned.
Full life.
Right, because he was eating food that wasn't putting tartar on his teeth in the first place. So, for me, these benefits were huge. And like I said earlier, this was the premise of why I opened the store, is I thought other people needed to know about this and go with it. It's just the benefits are amazing. I mean, not just the clean teeth, beautiful, fresh breath. They don't have the yucky stuff in their ears. They don't scratch and itch. And a lot of times they don't even have fleas, really. that surprisingly, because they don't have the yeast in our body that fleas are looking for. So, there's hundreds of benefits for this type of feeding. And Primal's one of our favorites.
Colleen Wise Owens says,
Colleen.
Go Pattie and go Cat. I guess you guys know who we're talking about right now. I got a question for you. What is the difference between Primal and other raw brands that are out on the market?
So one of the big things that differentiates Primal is the fact that we use all whole ingredients. So we don't use any synthetic vitamins and minerals. So we are complete and balanced through AFCO standards without adding a vitamin pack. So just as we would for ourselves rather eat an orange to get our vitamin C than take a vitamin C tablet, we're doing the same thing for our pets. So everything is, all of the vitamins and minerals that are in the formulas are much more bioavailable for absorption versus a vitamin pack where they come in really high concentrations and a lot of it is wasted.
And who knows where those vitamin packs are made at times.
Exactly.
Right.
Again, you'd much rather eat an orange for your vitamin C than to take a one-a-day supplement.
Right.
So not only are we free of synthetic vitamins and minerals, but all of our raw ingredients are human grade, including all of our meats, all of our farmers, all of our processing facilities. We now make 100% of our own food, which is really exciting, is all certified human grade, human edible. So it's the highest, my dogs eat better than I do. It's absolutely true. So it's the highest quality ingredients that you could possibly put in.
I love it. And the company is committed to this mission long term.
Correct.
I mean, as you guys have boomed and grown in scale, you still have stuck to this mission. Could you put that in perspective for
Sure,
us?
absolutely. So Matt Koss is our sole owner. He is the one and only one-man band. He started the company back in 2001 when his own dog, Luna, who was on all of our packaging, when Luna was diagnosed with end-stage kidney failure. So he started to do his own research, having a degree in food science and being a chef. He started to do his own research, came across the BARF model diet, and its benefits, started to cook, I say cook loosely because it's all raw, started to make his own food for Luna, and she lived for another 4.5 years after that. So he really thought that there was something there. He then started to package it and distribute it himself around San Francisco, and now, 18 years later, he is the #1 frozen food raw company in the country.
I love it. Why do we think that the raw food diet, and you're doing a great job raising awareness for it at Animal Connection.
We sure try.
That is like one of your go-tos.
Yep,
undoubtedly
absolutely.
Here. Why, it's gaining traction.
It is.
Talk to me about that.
Well, people are questioning. There's a lot of big questions lately about the grain-free diets and where's the taurine going. When you're doing a raw food diet, you're not losing anything. It's not manipulated. You're not applying heat or manipulating it in any way, shape, or form, except for mixing it and packaging it appropriately.
For mass consumption. Yeah, if you think about when you have wild animals, they don't have dental disease or kidney disease or food intolerances, skin issues, and that are related to food. You can eliminate a lot of the chronic illness and diseases that we see in our companion animals by feeding them something that's biologically appropriate.
And there's a lot of variety that's included too. You can feed beef, chicken, salmon, turkey,
fish.
Venison. Yeah,
We've got some formulas with fish in them. Yep.
Yeah, venison, rabbit, pheasant, quail. There's so much variety, and they use the organ meat and the bone to provide all this complete nutrition and a good variety of vegetables too.
Here's a tough question for you. How about protein temperatures? Talk to me some about protein temperatures, food energetics. I'm doing some research as we speak on your website. Thank you to Patricia Boden here. And we would encourage you to go to Primal Pet Foods and check out some of these questions.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
So food energetics is an Eastern medicine philosophy. We don't hit it too hard because it is Eastern medicine. And it's still, I don't know if up for debate is the right word to use. But so basically we are trying to follow that theory that food has a reaction in the body. So when you have a warming or hot meat, that is going to increase the temperature, bring some, which can cause some inflammation. You've got neutral meats, which have no effect on the body, and then we've got cooling meats, which help to reduce some of those inflammatory responses. So depending on what issue you're having, if any, you can work with what you're eating to help relieve some of that.
I love it.
Right. And the thing for us, too, is we can, because we have such variety with these products, we can use different meats at different seasons to help that. I mean, for instance, when it's hot and humid in Virginia and your dog's scratching and itching, well, the last thing you'd probably want to feed is chicken, because chicken raises heat in the body, and we want to cool things down.
If you have a skinny little hairless dog in the winter, you want to give him something warming and keep his temperature up, you can absolutely do that as well.
How much is the the education piece? And you probably deal with this every day. Where it's like you're educating the consumer of the value of this product line.
Well, that's the hardest part, because traditional medicine says you should feed packaged kibbles that the two main scientific diet companies say to use. I mean, that's what vets are told, and there are a lot of vets now that are for this. It's getting increasing popularity with them, and we're trying to overcome those concerns. But for us, it is a harder sell than maybe getting a bag of food off the shelf. I mean, we really do need to talk about the benefits. Once we talk about the benefits and people see the benefits, no question. I mean, they are believers and customers for life.
Primal tries to make something for everybody, because we understand that not everybody can feed exclusively raw.
Why is that? Because of price point?
Usually because of price point, yeah, absolutely. Most people have multiple dogs at home, large dogs, and if you have...
I have 2 German Shepherds.
If you have 2 German Shepherds at home, it can become quite costly to feed them exclusively raw. It doesn't mean that they won't benefit from feeding some raw. So while 100% of people may not be able to feed 100% of raw, we can get 100% of people feeding something raw. So Primal tries to make something for everybody, so that way we can all feed something fresh and see the benefit from it. We try to focus as much as we can on education to the retailer, because that is where we're going to hit the most consumers, right? That's where we're going to see the most benefit in our pets, is by having our retailers as educated as possible. That way they can educate the consumers directly, and everybody wins.
And there's a widely known vet that's online quite a bit, Dr. Karen Becker. She's a vet with Mercola. And I'm not going to quote a percentage, because I quite frankly can't remember it right off. I don't want to quote it. But she says that even if you feed just a little bit of fresh meat 3 or 4 times a week, you will see a big boost in the percentage of the health of the dog increase. You will see changes.
Absolutely. So, we have whether it's a nugget of freeze dried, a scoop of Pronto, a little bit of goat milk, a little bit goes a long way. And even if you think in terms of people, if we were to eat pizza and McDonald's and for the majority of our diets, we still get the benefit from eating that apple on the occasion that we do. And it's exactly the same. So even if you're just doing a little bit, you still will see the benefit in your pet from it.
It seems like such a no-brainer. I mean, it's like our cats and our dogs are descendants. I mean, the dog is the descendant of a wolf.
Yeah.
The wolf, for eternity, not eternity, but you get what I'm saying, for generations, for centuries, has lived off the land and preying on other animals and eating raw meat.
Absolutely.
And this is what has allowed a species of animals to successfully sustain itself.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, right?
It's
and
exactly
if you think about before the 50s, when canned food started becoming popular during the world wars, what did you feed your dog? You fed them leftovers from the table. Right. The farmer fed leftovers from from whatever they had. That's what your dogs ate, and they didn't have all these medical issues that were going on.
It's interesting of how it's all like synergistic, and you're getting some props here. Michelle Lacoste Palucci.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Hey Michelle.
She says, "Hey girl, you look awesome." Yeah, she's giving
Thanks,
you some.
Michelle.
She's watching right now. If you guys could like and share the feed, that would absolutely mean the world to us. Elisa Lauer is saying, great show. You guys look absolutely fantastic, as is Whitney Page Dean. Talk to us about when someone comes in to Animal Connection. Okay. And when they come into Animal Connection and their question is like, what should I feed my dog? The conversations that you're having, or cat, the conversations you're having with your customers.
Well, what we're going to ask them first is, what are they eating now? How old is your pet? Any particular problems? What's their activity level? What's your schedule like? What are you able to do? I mean, is taking something out of the freezer and thawing it a challenge for you? I mean, just it varies for everybody. So we need to try to find the right fit between what's going to work for their dog or cat and work with their schedule, work with their budget. There's so many different variables like that, but we do that with each and every customer that comes in asking for advice.
And I feel
I've witnessed that literally today. I was there for, a half an hour, and I witnessed it multiple times with both of the employees that were there.
And I feel like that is the, and I'm going to throw this back to you here. And before I do, Rachel Weaver says hello. Tracy Bell says hello.
All right.
Kara Nerf Stephenson, Megan McGorman Davis. So you're a popular
Lord, there
gal.
are a lot of people on there.
You have friends.
Like and share the feed, guys. Like and share the feed. That's all we ask of you. I mean, I think one of the value propositions, and it's, maybe one of the primary value propositions that you get with Animal Connection that you don't get at, some of the big box stores is the level of customer service, and it's the level of education. And this education is coming not only from like you interacting with the cats of the world, but you doing it yourself firsthand with your dog Ernie. And I mean, like, what does someone not want when they go into a place? Of course they want that knowledge that they can then apply to their life.
Right? They do. And, but they don't want necessarily do the research themselves. They want to come in and say, give me a plan, I'll follow it, I'm good to go. So that, having so many options like that is really helpful for us. And I was thrilled when you said that you heard somebody doing that today, because those two young girls that were working today, they haven't been there that long. But they've been studying, right? Yeah. They have been studying, and we're spreading the word with the new guys.
I love it. What are some of the ways you are seeing the raw food diet consumed by the dogs or cats? I mean, here's a good example. Is one of my dogs, he likes his food heated. I mean, what a spoiled brat Max, the German Shepherd, is. Leo, the German Shepherd, he could eat anything. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
In any way.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, so that's one of the reasons that I love Primal so much is we try to make something for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. We have a handful of products. We don't have a ton of products, but we've got a handful of products, and we try to hit something for everyone. So for those dogs who don't like cold or don't like the texture of raw, we've actually in the last year or so come out with a bone broth, which is a really nice way to be able to add some heat to their food and still adding something fresh and still adding something healthy and beneficial to them. So for those dogs or cats are really sensitive to temperature also, who want to add a little bit of warmth, bone broth is definitely going to be the way to go.
Gail Marie, Mary Ann, Dieter Jean says, this is so interesting, and my cat is watching right now.
All right.
We have folks watching on Long Island, New York.
Awesome.
We have folks watching in Savannah, in Charleston, and we even have someone watching across the pond, Annie, in England right now.
Oh, wow.
So the show is really doing a good job from a reach standpoint. Some of the benefits we talked about already from a health standpoint, maybe physical benefits, you've talked about teeth. Mm-hmm. I've noticed coat. Mm-hmm. A coat advantage that comes with the raw food diet. Put that in perspective for me.
Wow. Well, I mean, the coats are going to get thicker, glossier, shinier. And here's the other thing, too. We have learned that when a dog eats this fresh food, their epidural layer is getting thicker. Huh. Right?
Skin integrity is
That's
always
right.
intact, yeah.
And so
which
what
is
happens,
our first line of defense,
Right. So what happens when all these spring and summer allergies come along? They can't get through as easier. So now you're warding off against allergies. So, and we've got background music. So sorry.
We'll throw this to you here. One thing I've also noticed is from an eye standpoint with the raw food diet, and correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just seeing this here. From a raw food diet, I'm seeing less of the kind of like
tear stain?
Tear staining.
I call them eye boogers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Talk to me about that.
Yep, absolutely. Now, I am not a veterinarian by any means whatsoever, but from what I understand, tear staining is a buildup of minerals. And if you are, when you have foods that have a vitamin pack in them, those vitamin and minerals are in really high concentrations. So you have excess of them, which build up in the system. When you're feeding something that is from whole food ingredients, you don't have those excesses. Therefore, those build up of minerals are non-existent, whether that's buildup of minerals in the eyes or buildup of minerals in the urinary system, in the kidneys. You know, those minerals have a huge effect on their body all over.
Let's throw this to the ladies. I have been so concerned. This is from Gail. I've been so concerned with what to feed my cat. I went and researched raw food, and I've noticed since he started being on a raw food diet, he seems to be happier, seems to have a spring in his step, and seems to be enjoying life even more.
We don't necessarily realize when they're not
because
feeling
we see
as
them
good as
every
they
day.
can. We see them every day,
Yeah.
and that's their normal status quo, but we don't realize that the majority of the time that they have that much more vitality in them, and can be that much happier and lighter in step and have that much more of a waist. You don't see a lot of cats these days with waists, but they have them. They're there.
Well, and that is especially important, and I'm trying to do this from like a firsthand anecdotal standpoint. Take my 130-pound German Shepherd. Okay, so a German Shepherd is going to have undoubtedly, when it's all said and done, joint and hind leg issues.
Sure.
So if I'm able to provide a diet with I love this dog. I mean, he's a family member. If I'm able to provide him a diet where he's leaner, healthier, and has less strain because of weight or because of what he's consuming on his joints and hind legs, that's going to mean he's going to live longer.
Sure, absolutely. He's going to live longer, and he's going to feel better in those years.
The quality of life.
The quality of life, because we want them to be healthy for as long as possible, not just live really long, because if he only lives until 6 but has issues from 6 to 12,
right?
You know, that's not, we want them to be as healthy for as long as possible.
My oldest lived, and now she was a Chow Shepherd mix, not a purebred, lived to 17.
That's amazing for
mean,
such a large dog.
Right, and it wasn't until like the final, like, I want to say year where it was like quality of life was impacted.
Sure.
But I mean, 16 years of quality of life
Absolutely.
for a dog? I mean,
that's incredible.
It was a gift.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, we got a question about, and this is perhaps for both you guys, how the raw food, and we've touched on this a little bit, could impact the kidneys. Because the kidneys are so important. I know we're not veterinarians.
I like to have that.
I like to stipulate it. She says, I've noticed this helps from a kidney standpoint. And where I saw that firsthand was with perhaps an unquenchable thirst.
Sure. I don't know if anyone has ever seen this video that I love and I use in all of my trainings. There's a video on the internet of a German Shepherd drinking out of a glass bowl, and they get really tight up on the shot, and you can see that their tongues actually flip backwards and ladle water into their mouths, which is extremely inefficient. We can suck water, whether it's through a straw or through a cup. I've drank from this cup multiple times. Dogs and cats can't do that. So they're used to getting their moisture in their diets, not having to drink from a secondary stationary bowl, So having that moisture directly in their food, whether you're just adding it to kibble or whatever you're feeding, whether you're adding something that has moisture in it, like goat milk or bone broth, having that added hydration is going to make an enormous difference, not only in all of their functional systems, but definitely in anything having to do with their urinary or filtering systems.
And this might be, and I'm going to throw this to you, this might be kind of like an obvious statement. I would think a raw food diet, just from a taste standpoint, is going to taste better than dry kibble. I mean, is that fair?
I would say that's really fair.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, which would you rather have?
Have you ever tasted kibble?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I have tasted kibble.
Yeah, me too.
And I think I was at your store when I tasted kibble.
I think you were.
Yeah.
But here's a weird thing about since you mentioned kibble and we're talking about benefits. So a lot of times I have people come and say, "God, my dog's driving me nuts. Can you just calm him down or give him something to calm him down?" And I ask them, "Well, what are you eating?" And they say, "Well, this dry food." And I say, "Well, do you know how much sugar's in that dry food?" This is like kids that are eating donuts for breakfast.
Right, pixie sticks.
Exactly. So if you change and start going back to whole food products, you will notice some changes emotionally, behaviorally. It's just like taking your kids off sugar. No more juice boxes for dogs.
Talk to us about that, Kat.
So it's, just as it's the same with us. We can all attest to the better we eat, the better we feel. And it's exactly the same with them. If we're feeding them something that is highly processed, very dry, pulls moisture from the body, it's going to definitely have an effect on their, not only on their health, but on their behavior. If we're feeding something that is easy to digest and extremely moist, has a lot of moisture, extremely hydrating, it's going to have a beneficial effect on their behavior.
And we're not just talking the talk. I mean, 3 years ago, someone gave me a challenge that said, hey, wouldn't you like to be as healthy as the food that you're feeding? And so I decided I would eat nothing else that came out of a box and change all my diet and try to eat as many whole foods as possible. And I dropped 4 sizes in a year.
Good for you.
I mean, without doing crazy exercise
we
regimes
really are
or
what we
anything like
eat,
that. Right, you are what you eat. Exactly.
We have a lot of folks jumping in on the feed. Rachel Weaver says, woohoo, Kathleen. Great job, Kathleen.
Thanks, Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
Jenna Chatfield says, Kathleen, this is awesome. Emoji smiley face.
Thanks, Jenna.
So you're getting some props here
right.
on the show. Put in perspective here of what some of your firsthand perspective, some of your customers have seen. When they come into Animal Connection, they go on a Primal pet food, raw food diet, and when they come back and what they're returning to you from a firsthand perspective.
Well, once they try it for, you might see changes in 2 weeks. You might see changes in 4 or 5 weeks. It depends on how long you've been feeding something that's not appropriate for the dogs. But, once they do it, maybe they get to a maintenance point and they say, hey, this is great. My dog's into this point, but I can't afford to do all of this. The nice thing is we have the raw foods come into, it looks like a kibble, but it's frozen raw food that you can add. I mean, so if you have to make adjustments for budget or whatever, okay, we get it. We have different ways of dealing with that. And then there are the freeze-dried products that Primal makes. So these are shelf-stable. They're little nuggets, and all you do is add hot water. They're perfect for treats. They're perfect if you just need to add something to whatever you've got to, at least take it a step up. Not everybody can go 100% raw, but if you can just pick 1 or 2 little things and make some small changes, you're just so much more ahead of the game.
Whitney Page Dean, over at the store. Yeah, she says, can you explain why adding goat's milk to your dog's diet is beneficial?
Sure, absolutely. So we make a raw, so it's unpasteurized, a raw goat milk product. We add a probiotic blend to it, as well as ginger, cinnamon, and turmeric. So not only by adding goat milk to what we would presume is a dry diet, right, adding it to your kibble, are you adding moisture back to it, but you have all of the naturally occurring live enzymes that are going to help the dog to break down their kibble diet into digestible forms. So you've got the live enzymes, you're adding the moisture back to it, and then you got probiotics. We don't necessarily think about going to the freezer for a probiotic supplement, but goat milk is a great way to kind of supplement everything that kibble's missing. Live enzymes, moisture, and probiotics.
I would love to hear a firsthand anecdotal story from you on how you have seen, whether it's a colleague, a friend, customer, of how Primal has really benefited their furry friend.
So I do a lot of events at local. So I cover Delaware, Maryland, DC, Virginia, and a chunk of North Carolina.
A good event is Dogfest.
Exactly. So
there you go.
I do talk to, although I usually talk to retailers, I do talk to consumers as well. And I had done an event probably about 18 months ago here in Virginia, and one of the consumers' dogs was German Shepherd, actually, was just diagnosed with pancreatic insufficiency. So they did some research. The store associate had already filled him in on Primal, but he came in to speak to me directly. We got him onto the beef formula, I believe, for his dog. And within 2 feedings, his dog finally had a normal bowel movement, which he had never experienced since having his dog. So within 2 feedings, it made a significant difference, not only in the consumer's quality of life, but in the pet's quality of life. And 2 feedings, it was extremely quick.
That's a great testimonial.
I got a call from him. He called me
right.
directly and left me a message that was like, thank you so much. He was extremely happy to have some, a peace of mind, for his
I'm sure
pet.
you hear hundreds of stories like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You're getting some big time props from Jordan Plank. who says,
Jordan.
Blake says hello, and you're doing a fantastic job here.
All right.
Man, it's the power of the internet and social media.
Right?
Here.
Yeah.
You're seeing it literally firsthand. Put in perspective of how Primal has done a good job of supporting independent retailers like yourself.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we couldn't ask any more of a company. I mean, between coupons and swag, and there's just always something going on that they're offering or covering, and the education that they provide, and even cool things like in the summer, recipes like take your goat's milk or your bone broth, put some fresh blueberries or carrots or something in it. Make popsicles for your dogs. Enjoy the heat. There's always something new that's being offered to us, and just wait till you see what's going to be at the store this week.
Well, now's the time to do it. Somehow
boy.
we have filled 36 minutes, and it's felt like 3.6 minutes. So you guys have done a job well done so far.
All right.
What do we have to offer?
Are the pictures up so they can see?
Harris
oh
will
my
get them up
goodness.
here shortly.
Okay. So the first picture you're going to see is this wonderful bag of goodies that Kat's put together for us. And it's got 6 pounds of Primal, the Primal Pronto, which is like the little disc sizes that you can add to food. Bone broth, goat's milk, bones, and in a lovely freezer pack. And we're going to give that away. For someone that's liking and sharing. If we got a lot of likes and shares today, this is available for us to give away today. We also have a lot of coupons, and if you like and share the post today, if you're going to share it and watch the feed, the replay later, come into Animal Connection and say, hey, I saw this on I Love CVille or Animal Connection or Primal's page or Kat's page. Say you saw it, and we will give you coupons so you can receive some product.
So that is pretty sweet. I love the support that you offer.
Yeah.
It is genuine and authentic and supportive. And
we try to keep.
I see that.
We try to keep consumers in the stores. We do sell our freeze-dried product on certain e-commerce sites, but we don't sell any of our frozen product over the internet. Everything is sold in independent pet specialties. So we're trying to drive people into brick and mortar locations.
Fantastic. Get into Animal Connection. We just show, and Harris, why don't you put it on screen one more time? Kat, your smiling face amongst an incredibly awesome prize package.
Is that amazing? I mean,
it is amazing.
it's a one.
I'm about to look at it again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to
That's
slide
a lot
the
of
screen
stuff.
over to Kat so she gets even more cherry red, which I'm having some fun with right now.
Oh, it looks good on her.
There we go.
There.
All right.
There it
I
is.
like it.
There it is.
At Animal Connection, guys, and that could be yours.
That could be yours. I mean, like and share the
Everything you
post.
need to get started feeding some raw.
Follow-up question is, how much goat's milk or bone broth should you add to dry kibble?
So on our goat milk packaging, we recommend an ounce per 10 pounds. A little bit goes a long way, in my personal opinion. So I usually do a little bit of goat milk, add some hot water if you're looking to rehydrate. But you can go up to an ounce per 10 pounds. Same with the bone broth, although I think it is an ounce per 20 pounds on that. But we do recommend, whether it's goat milk or bone broth, starting off slow and working your way up to that quantity.
We may already have a winner.
Uh-oh.
So Kathy Kravinsky.
Oh,
Kathy
right.
Kravinsky says, I would like to try Primal today.
Well, bring it on.
I have 3 dogs. I'm interested in sample sizes, small packages that I would want to purchase today to see if they want the food.
Well, I think we have the winner.
I think
There we
have
go.
the
That,
winner.
that was the
Absolutely.
idea. Kathy, you've won the bag of food, and we'll
We will get
set
those
you right
3
up.
dogs started.
Well, let her know how she can win here. First thing she should do is come see you, right?
The first thing she needs to do is she can come to. We know Kathy.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
come to the store today, and we'll give you your freezer bag full of loot. So, and anybody else that's watching, I just want to mention, Kat comes to see us. What about every other month or so? When she's in town, we'll post it on our page. If you have questions, you can ask us, or you can, we'll let you know when Kat's coming. You can ask her firsthand. And, hopefully she'll be at Dog Fest again this year.
Kit Ashley
Yeah.
of Monsoon is watching right now, and she has a German Shepherd. She's
right.
also interested in the in the Primal
Well,
option. Come on down.
Come on down. We'll give you coupons for free
working.
stuff.
Yep, absolutely. We got
Yay.
tons of free product we can give away.
One of the things that I want to give you some props on is you have a pleasant demeanor. Do you often give tutorials like this? No, probably not on camera.
No, this is the first
person
time
you
I've
do,
done
right?
this. This is the first time I've done this. Being a territory sales manager, I usually deal directly with retailers. So when I do tutorials like this or staff trainings, it's usually to retailers directly or their sales associates. But I will on occasion do some direct-to-consumer seminars as well.
I love it, guys. Animal Connection is, what are you, 17 years in?
We're working on it.
17, almost 17 years in.
Yeah.
17 years in the McIntyre Plaza, the longest running, all natural pet store in Central Virginia. What I especially love about Animal Connection, and I think this is the value proposition, along with the fantastic customer service and the vertically integrated product line and service line of grooming, of the self-serve dog wash, of fantastic food like Primal Pet Foods, is I love the knowledge that you get from you and your staff.
Well, we sure try, and we're so lucky we are able to talk with people like Kat and just learn a lot of stuff. You know, it's all important, and it's not just for dogs and cats. I mean, it's things you can apply to your own life too.
Love it. Anything else you want to add, Kat, before we sign off?
Check out primalpetfoods.com. It's a great resource.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Another episode of What's Barking Local is in the books.
Yeah.
Get over to Animal Connection and get your sample opportunities for Primal Pet Foods.
Yes, absolutely.
ASAP. Okay.
Kathy, we'll see you.
She is Kat Kiernan. Yeah, Kathy got it in like 90
Jumped in there. There you go.
She's Kat Kiernan. She is Pattie Boden. My name is Jerry Miller, and it's What's Barking Local. Normally
on
Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Today is special time because this cosmopolitan gal is going to.
Whoa.
Where are you going?
Oh, sadly, Orlando, Florida.
What's wrong with Orlando?
Oh, I don't like hot and humid. But, you know, that's where the show is. And, you know, literally we're going to be on a floor from like 7 a.m. to finishing with suppliers around, who knows when. But, you know, it's 3 days of hard work. But we'll learn a lot.
I have a feeling cocktails are going to be in your future after this.
Would I ever do that?
Thank you for joining us, guys, on What's Barking Local. We truly enjoy connecting with you in this capacity, and we will see you Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Exactly. Bark local.
Thanks.
Good work.
Yay.
Is that it? It's off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy?
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Okay.
Yay, you
good.
did it. You lived.
Gail says you guys are informative and breathless. This was
Breathless?
a show. Yes. That's
She
what
said breathless?
Breathless, yeah. Thank you.